Hello, my dears. How are you today? Well, Grandma wants to tell you a story from the Book of Mormon today. And this happened about 150 years before Jesus Christ was born. And this happened here on the American continent. And this is a story about a man named King Noah. See, there's the king. He was a very wicked man. He did evil things. And the Lord sent a prophet named Abinadi to come to King Noah and to tell him that he needed to repent, him and all his priests, see, all these people sitting back there, his leaders of the people, because they were doing such wicked things and they were not teaching the people to keep the commandments of God, and they were doing bad things and the people were following and not keeping the commandments. So the Lord sent Abinadi to come and tell King Noah that he needed to repent, or the Lord would send their enemies and allow them to destroy them. And King Noah and his priests didn't like that. They didn't believe that their enemies could come and destroy them. They thought that they were too strong and too powerful. And so they were not happy with Abinadi. And so they chained him up, put him in prison, and then brought him before the council. And Abinadi prophesied to them. And he told them again, if you don't repent, the Lord will allow your enemies to come and destroy you. And while he was standing there, he taught the people that were there about the coming of Jesus Christ and the atonement that he would make. And after he finished speaking and teaching them to keep the commandments, King Noah ordered his guards to take Abinadi, put him in prison, and then for 3 days, they discussed what they would do with Abinadi. And they finally decided that he was worthy of death because he said that God would come down, and they didn't believe that that could happen. They didn't believe that Jesus Christ would come to the earth. And because we live, 2,000 years afterwards, we know he came to the earth. But back in those days before he came, they didn't believe that that could happen. And so they said, Abinadi, unless you change your testimony, unless you take back what you said, you are going to be put to death. And Abinadi would not take back his testimony. And so they said that they would kill him, that they would tie him up and burn him to death. And Abinadi said, what you do to me now, the same thing will happen to you. And that's what happened. They burned Abinadi. And even though it was a painful way to die, he would not take back his testimony. He trusted that things would be okay. And then we find out later in the story that the same thing happened to King Noah, that his priests turned on him and burned him, just like he had ordered Abinadi to be burned. Well, that's another story from the Book of Mormon that we're reading about this year. I hope we can learn a lesson from Abinadi, that even really, really good people that are doing right, sometimes bad things happen to good people. But we need to be strong and be faithful and keep doing what's right. Remember, Grandma loves you, and I'll come and tell you another story later. Bye.